Welcome back, college esports fans. My name is Jake at Superman Casting. Maury, casting alongside me for some amazing Overwatch action this evening is none other than
Xander or Zader or whatever you want to call me. I always get it confused. It's really hard to remember both names.
Yeah, we had a blast casting some nice show match earlier this evening between Utah and Arizona. Then we showed you that beautiful rebroadcast of UCLA versus ASU to give you a taste of what you can expect out of ASU this evening.
Yeah, ASU, I'm really excited to see how they're going to play tonight against USC's kind of new roster.
Yeah, we'll talk about those changes in a moment. So let's show them what the standings kind of look like coming into this evening, because this is not a show match we're going to be watching between ASU and USC. You can see ASU looking pretty, 1-0. They're looking to contest those top spots coming into the playoff buys. They're hoping to match Utah's record, maybe be able to push straight through to semis as well. Yeah,
this is a really important match for ASU. They really need to be able to win this match to take top speed, or to have a guaranteed spot at least at top seed here. They're also going to go ahead and take that second place there in the overall standings as well if they take this game. Colorado being 2-1 in second place right now.
Yeah, really close in the top of those brackets. So let's take a look at the schedule of matches that we've seen this evening, and we'll see henceforth. All right, so what we did see was that show match. It was Utah convincing victories over Arizona. Nothing changes the standings there because it's just a show match. Then you saw that rebroadcast to give you a taste of what you'll expect now coming into USC versus Arizona State University. And yeah, they're both sitting 1-0 in the match score, but there is a single game loss for USC.
USC has a single game loss right now?
Single game loss coming into this evening.
Okay, they do have a single
game
loss.
But no match losses for either of these squads.
Oh, a single game loss. Now,
just a game,
sorry. I got
not a match.
I was thinking of the wrong sort of match. You know, all these synonyms are really, really bad in my head.
But really strong squads. You mentioned how there could be some player swaps out for USC. Let's look at the lineups for these two amazingly strong squads. I mean, Arizona State, really the favorite here, but by how much?
I think by honestly, quite a bit. We see a lot of ASU fans in the chat. We see a lot of ASU fans just in general because they do have a very, very good lineup. They don't have any substitutes. They're very confident in their team. They're very confident with how they play. ASU is very, very set in stone. USC, however, they have changed their lineup a little bit. They are bringing in some new players, and they are most likely coming into this match with some fresh blood.
All right, they're looking to regroup, kind of figure out what best gels for them moving forward, hopefully moving into postseason, maybe even that semifinal bye for the postseason of PACG. So
that's correct.
You saw those names. Like I mentioned, 4-0 game score, undefeated match score for Arizona, undefeated match score in total for USC, but a single loss in a game overall. So they have faltered a tiny bit, but they're still looking real strong.
They are still looking really, really strong, and I'm excited to see them go against ASU because we haven't really seen much of both teams here. You know, USC hasn't had too many show matches, and they've only had that one real match that they've played. But ASU, we've seen them in show matches, we've seen them in TESPA before, we've seen them in we've seen them a lot here as well in that one match. You know, we know that ASU is a strong team.
Yeah, absolutely, which should put them as the favorite for this matchup, as we mentioned before.
Right.
But by how much? That's the question at hand, right? Now, our featured map to begin our evening is Blizzard World. That's what we started out earlier this evening. It's an interesting one.
You know, everyone's really conflicted with Blizzard World at the moment. We stated this earlier. It's a Widowmaker playground. It's really new, so not a lot of strategies have been defined with it. We saw that Bastion strategy come out from Utah there, sitting on the top of the roof.
That was dirty.
Up there in the corner. That was absolutely dirty. But, you know, we don't know what these other teams have. Yeah. You know, there could be something new that we can see. So, you know, it's a really hard map to say of what's going on.
So, as our resident ASU expert, if you will, Xander, hit us up with what we should expect on Blizzard World, say, defense from ASU.
We're going to probably see a static composition like we saw with Utah. Okay. I'm not sure if they're going to set up in the same way. I don't know if they knew that was a thing. I don't know if they're comfortable with that. But we're probably going to see a pretty static composition again. We're going to see a Widowmaker, most likely. We're going to see Chronodota and Spades on their tanks. They're probably going to see Reinhardt, maybe an Orisa, and Diva. You know, those are probably the three main tanks that we're going to see here today. That, or they might just run a casual anti-dive. they're very comfortable with that as well.
All right. Strong defensive composition should be just fine. You mentioned Widow's Playground. We should see that probably on both sides. You and I have chatted a little bit about how Widow on offense is kind of awkward in the first little push that you can make until you've made it clear that your team has already secured a position beyond that first kind of gate, that archway. Beyond that, once you've finally secured a position, then you can bring it out and kind of play around. There's a lot more positions you can take. But before there, Widow kind of has very limited options in terms of line of sight to try and have some pressure.
Yeah, it's definitely really hard to put yourself into a position where you can see everything, right, and not really have yourself in kind of a danger zone. So you do need to push past that first choke point. So we might see them start with something like a Tracer. Yep. We might see them start with something a little bit more divey to get past that point. And then once they die, we'll see them switch over to the Widowmaker. Or they might just start out with it. That's very possible as well. So we'll have to kind of see. I know both teams have strong Widowmakers. Chumcha, I've seen his Widowmaker before, and it's insane. It's crazy.
It's clean.
He's very, very good with it.
There's
ADHD as well.
Yeah, there's some pretty good right-clicking action that happens right there.
Yeah, I mean, they're really good. They're both really good Widowmaker players. So I'm really excited to see two very confident Widowmakers play. We haven't seen that a lot here in PACG in general. Even with our show match earlier, we didn't see really two very confident Widowmakers. We just saw one very confident Widowmaker and then one Widowmaker that, doesn't play as much. So it'll be really exciting to see these battles come out.
Yeah, most exciting because you mentioned confidence. That has to be a key here for these teams. They have to be confident in themselves, in their power, in their picks, and the composition is the strategy that they decide to go with as a full squad. If you're not confident in your play, this is when you could falter, and it matters. It matters a lot this evening. This is a match that counts.
Yeah.
It's not a show match, and it has playoff implications. Both of these teams would like to remain undefeated in match score.
Correct.
And continue to maybe have their chance be increased there. You lose it if you lose this match, but if you win, you have a chance to also have a semifinal bye, right? You skip the quarters, you go straight into top seed for your region, and you match Utah on that other side of the bracket.
Right, and that's what we want to see, and both teams have a lot of pressure, honestly. There's so much riding on this one match right now for both of these teams because these are both very confident teams. They're very competent as well. So there's a lot riding on this, and we're going to see the best play out of both of these teams most likely for this match. Like we said, it's not a show match this time. Yeah, and USC has been able to swap out some players. They've been able to watch the last few games, the last few matches that ASU has played here on stream. Right. The rebroadcast that you guys just got to see, that was a lot of fun to see against UCLA, shows you a little bit of what ASU likes to try out, likes to play, likes to press. So now that you have that information, you've been able to watch from the sidelines. Right. If you're USC, switch out your players. You can have that extra time to talk about what would be a good composition you'd be comfortable with and confident on, as you mentioned, Zader, coming here into our match this evening. Player information is key here for these matchups. You want to know what the other team is going to play. You want to know their strong suits so you can counter them. You want to know that Chumcha has a great Widowmaker. You want to know that ADHD is a phenomenal DPS player. You want to know that so you can counter those players and you can target those players and really falter the team. Yeah. In the micro, people talk so much about how line of sight is really important, but not so much about how on the meta level, line of sight, being able to have foreknowledge of what to expect from the other team in their compositions, their strategies, it's just as important as being able to see them in the actual game. Right. You can't see them, you can't kill them. If you don't know what to expect, you're going to be blindsided. There's nothing really you can do about that. Right. And again, hitting back on that line of sight, your positioning matters. And again, USC coming in with a lot of knowledge on how ASU positions themselves and where they like to position their line of sights and what they like to do. So they're going to know those spots, and they're going to know that they need to watch out for what's going on. So it's just going to be really interesting to see what USC does against ASU because they have so much information at this point. Yeah, they do. And so that's a little bit of an edge that you could give to USC coming into this evening. But of course, ASU is still the favorite for this match. They are so powerful in their lineup. Their players, top 500s, many of them are, and they're very confident in those specific roles. They're very solidified. When we saw that matchup screen, you could see because of the roster swaps, some of the players being swapped out, it's kind of the information is we're all just kind of we're going to figure it out. Right.
Without that extra information, ASU is kind of coming into it blind. They may be the better players by an edge, but without that extra information, you're missing that kind of foreknowledge, that edge that you can get coming into a game that is based on strategy.
It is completely based on strategy. You need good teamwork. You need good strategy. You have to have good communication. There's a lot that goes into a solid team. Both of these teams have those. I know that for sure. I've seen them both play, and you know, I could only imagine if I could hear their comms that, you know, they're very, very strong. I know Spades his shot calling is on top, is on point. I've talked to him before. I've seen him play. I've watched him play, and he has a phenomenal shot calling ability.
Yeah, for this level of esports, collegiate level, this is some phenomenal gameplay we expect to see. We have seen from these specific players. I mean, what we should expect this evening is scrappy fights, head-to-heads, beautiful 1v1s on the sides. I mean, this should be the highest level, short of having Utah vs ASU, which may be, based on favorites, may be the final that we get in just a couple weeks. But short of that matchup, this should be the best to watch to see the highest level of competitive play PACG has to offer.
Yeah, I think that this is going to be a very highlight match. We've highlighted other matches before. We've highlighted, you know, the grudge match that we had against Utah versus ASU. We've seen them play here before, and that was really high level of play. We saw very intense moments. We saw a lot of high level gameplay, high level strategies, high level shot calling. So this is going to be another one of those, but this one matters more than that show match. This one really matters. So I'm very excited to see exactly what these teams can do.
Yeah, and we're just prepping to get that match on your screen. We're just waiting on players to get in the lobby. They're all here. They're all set and ready to go. We're going to be loading onto Blizzard World in just a few moments. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow esports enthusiasts, we're excited to have you along with us. Once again, my name's Jake Superman Mori. You can check me out on Twitter, Twitch, and the like by the tag @SupermanCasting.
And I am Xander or Zader, and you can check me out basically everywhere as Zader, and then on Twitter as official Zader. But again, Zader's the name.
Yeah, and of course, if you like watching the PACG, you can follow the PACG at Pacific ACG. Follow this channel, University of Utah Esports. We're broadcasting from Einar Nielsen Fieldhouse. It's a historic place here in Salt Lake City, downtown at the University of Utah. This is exciting, Zader. I mean, the growth of collegiate esports in the last, I want to say, year, 6 months even, has just been explosive. And to have a project like this taken on by students, volunteers, willing to put in their time and effort to grow something, to be rivaling, thank you. To be rivaling the level of competition and hopefully production, if you're enjoying it, of NCAA, traditional sports at the collegiate level is a huge boon to the growth of esports, and I'm excited to be a part of it. I can't tell you how excited I am to get into this match this evening because, I mean, we've been hyping it up a lot, Zader, but this should be explosive between these two teams. Once again, University of Southern California versus Arizona State University, some of the top two best teams in the entire PACG.
Is it going to be exciting? This is going to be one game to watch, and you guys are about to get a good taste of it here in about 5 seconds.
4, 3, 2. Hit us up in the chat. Hashtag USC win, hashtag ASU win. Who do you think will take this first round of Game 1?
I have hopes for ASU here, but again, I haven't seen ASU's new roster here. We see Dingpai, Immortal on the DPS there. Very standard dive composition here coming out from USC.
Yeah, it looks like a well-grouped push set up here, trying to take the high ground on this flanked side.
Yeah, they don't want to start through that big open door there. They want to find kind of a different opening, kind of a different way to get in here. They want to contest this high ground and make sure that they don't have a lot to deal with.
It was a nice try to that contest, but it wasn't really set up to have Devo alongside the Winston for that push. You can see Caden going to have to be the first to respawn. He's the first blood to be drawn here. Nice choice, though, by USC to try and contest that flank side. You saw Mercy was kind of pressured for a moment there. Actually does fall for ASU, and look at this Tracer damage. I said we should see some nice 1v1s, but this is nice scrappy fights grouped up here for USC. They're kind of getting picked off, though, by this Tracer damage. Nice recall there to get out of dodge.
Yeah, Tracer doing a really good job sitting in the back line, making sure she's not seen, and making sure she can deal a lot of damage. ADHD has a very good positioning here on Tracer. It really zoning out USC and making them fall back. It's going to cause USC to kind of watch for this Tracer a little bit more, be a little bit more scared about it.
Yeah, nice regroup here from USC, waiting out those respawn timers. They're going to be trying to stack those ults. They're a little bit behind that curve. ASU has a lot more close or ready to go already. You can see you've got D.Va ready to just maybe counter this entire push just by using that one ultimate because there's not ready.
A little bit out of position. Woo.
Able to recall, get out of there. Nice blink to create that space.
But yeah, just remember, his recall is now gone, and he's going to have about 10 seconds on that. Probably back here at this point. Now we're going to see a lot of fights breaking out. ASU popping the soldier.
Ooh, Chumcha with the damage. He actually gets a nice couple of kills and more damage comes through on the back end. But he's actually getting chased down by this Genji. Wow, that's a lot of damage from Dinkpai. He actually starts the ult, but it gets canceled.
No!
Chumcha, he's just, oh my goodness. That was some great soldier play. Really good pressure with his own ultimate and then cancels out the Dragon's Blade.
The Dragon Blade, yeah. That was very, very solid play from Chumcha.
Sit down, Dinkpai.
Sit down. Dinkpai wanted those big picks. He wanted to be able to start another push here for USC, but he couldn't get it because Chumcha was on it. He knew what was going to come out. And he flicked the Helix Rockets, and then that was the end of Dinkpai's ultimate.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Sound Barrier is going to start this fight off here. Immortal's going to try his hand at that damage. His ultimate is coming through. That's a lot of damage, but the barriers are there, and a lot of healing from the AoE from Lucio. He actually falls, though. Nice use of the self-destruct.
That was a really, really good play there from ASU, defending these ultimates that were coming out from USC. Immortal had that tack visor, had a very good position. ADHD really scared him out of position, threw the pulse bottom, didn't stick, but it put him out of position and made him focus a little bit more on Tracer and wasted about half of that ultimate. Then the other half was just countered by Spades just kind of eating up the rest of it with the big D.Va Mac.
Yeah, speaking of Spades, on that D.Va, doing really well, creating that pressure. The first one to get an ultimate in this match, and a nice one there to set things up for a counter push. They're doing just fine so far, defending objective A. You can see USC trying to make another push here. 30 seconds remaining. That's all they've got left. Arizona missing a couple of key ultimates. You can see Kaden is the first one here. He's going to nice use of his ultimate to stay healthy.
Yeah.
As a lot of soldier damage is coming through. They've got full control. This is going to be a scrappy fight, Zader.
This is very, very scrappy. USC is really centered right now. They scattered Arizona State a lot, but Arizona State came through. They kind of grouped back up together, and they took control of that fight on USC. And that's going to be, I don't think USC is going to have enough time to get back on. A very convincing hold from ASU there, kind of running an anti-dive composition, countering that dive composition, and really, we didn't see any progress there on that bar.
Yeah, I mean, they had their number. You mentioned it. They countered the composition, and they played to their strengths, tried to avoid their weaknesses, and it worked out really well for them. Right. So nice, clean defense. That last push there was kind of, I want to say it was almost like a hiccup, right? They weren't all on the same page on that team push.
They weren't all on the same page, yeah, definitely. They did a good job. They spread ASU out. They got that. They got Chumcha's tactical visor. They pushed him out of the way, made him fall back. Really kind of wasted that tac visor there.
Yeah.
So that was a really good job by Kaden. Or I think I'm on the wrong team here. But either way, I think it was Immortal. Sorry, I was confused there a second. But they did a really good job countering that tactical visor, spreading ASU out. But they kind of lost it. They were all grouped on the point, and ASU was able to come back. Spades and Chronodota coming back onto the point and collapsing and then spreading ASU out.
Yeah, and when ASU spreads out in that kind of situation, you wonder if that's the actual strategy, if that was the call. You mentioned the shot calling when we were loading into the game. Or is that some miscommunication where because they end up spread out, they can't exactly execute the anti-dive as well?
Right.
I mean, they do get the defense in the end. We'll have to see if it is as clean now in the second round on offense as it was on defense.
Yeah, but we also didn't really see any Widowmaker there.
No, not from either of these squads.
From either team. So it was really interesting to see just two dive compositions just in general.
Yeah. We'll see if they switch things up for the second round. I expect a decent defense, too, out of USC here.
I expect a defense as well. I mean, defending on this map is a lot easier than it is attacking.
It really is. Just the way the map is built. There's a couple of choke points that you can really hold very tight, but it looks like they're going to let this first pass come through.
And
they're going to choose to defend straight on the point. This is similar to what we saw from Utah against Arizona in the show match earlier this evening.
Yeah, and we see fairly similar team composition, almost actually exactly the same as we saw on the flip side. Arizona State is running the same attack composition, and or not, I guess they have a tracer instead of a soldier, and then USC is running the same defense composition.
Uh-oh, Mercy kind of caught there, doesn't actually fall. The first to fall is Zenyatta, but you can see they've also lost some of their DPS. Dinkpai is down. This Tracer has a nice flank. Will this be? Yes, it is. Nice pick there onto the support backline. This is a pretty good push here from ASU.
Convincing push there from ASU. They're going to get that tick. Blizzard World's going to go to ASU.
That was fast, Zader.
That was extremely fast. And honestly, I think we can blame this on Blizzard World being a really new map, and I don't know if USC has had much practice on it, as it really was just released kind of out into the world just about 2 weeks ago. And, you know, a lot of teams have had enough time to really figure out what this map is. We see Chumcha doing a really good job on this Genji, you know, picking off those smaller targets, getting the little targets there.
Nice accuracy on the shurikens there. That's what you want to see from a player like this. Warmed up clearly coming into just the first game. With that kind of accuracy, it's hard to lose. It
is very hard to lose. I mean, if you're hitting those shurikens, it's quite a bit of damage, and you get a lot of ult charge as well.
Yeah.
And, you know, you're able to clean up those small targets pretty quickly if you're hitting those.
Yeah. So we should see a pretty good fight between these two, but Arizona coming out really strong. USC in the first round looked okay, but you don't lose the point that quickly without something being terribly off or something going extremely well for your opponents. That seemed to be the case here for ASU. They had a nice coordinated push, and they pretty much just team wiped off of one fight.
One very solid push. You know, it was looking a little bit bad for ASU actually at the beginning. We saw their healer get picked off pretty quickly, pretty early on, and I thought, you know, okay, they're going to have to back off. We're going to see another push, you know, let's see what goes on. But no, ASU really capitalized and got another pick on Dingpai. We saw Dingpai fall a soldier, and that's when ASU really capitalized. That's when a lot of damage was lost from USC, and ASU knew that that was their time to push, even if they were one down.
What's going to stop you? If you've lost Zenyatta and you've lost Soldier, where's your healing and where's your damage? It's just non-existent. So how can you actually defend, again, especially if, and I don't remember if they actually lost anyone for those trades, but if that's a 6v4 too, and you're already missing those key parts of your composition, there's no hope for you. You're going to lose that.
There really isn't any hope there as far as this goes. So really convincing play there from ASU. I'm going to blame it on the map.
All right.
For USC.
Yeah, I'm okay with that explanation.
I'm going to blame it on the map. I think USC still has a very strong team. We saw a really good attacks there. You know, when they were playing on you know, the attacking side, we saw a lot of really good pushes from them, but they really weren't able to capitalize just on the positioning of ASU.
Yeah.
So just depending on what they decide to pick here, as far as losers pick goes, I think they're going to be a lot more comfortable on maps that they know a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, the new map, Blizzard World, it seems that you have to have a lot of practice on it, or you have to know of some sort of cheese that works for your team and have it really well set up and really well practiced. And it's very, like, niche, right? It's some sort of cheese or it's some sort of strategy that's well practiced, and both of those extremely hard to pull off when it's only been out for a little bit here.
Yeah, I mean, as far as competitive play, it's only been out. Like, I would like to assume that these teams had a lot of time to practice on it since it was just initially released.
Yeah.
But even then, now there's a lot of focus because now Brigitte is out. There's new hero out, and now they've got to work around this very strong support hero. You know, being released and
overpowered, in my opinion.
Overpowered in a lot of people's opinions. So maybe their focus isn't on Blizzard World anymore, but maybe their focus is on countering and using Brigitte to the full ability. And it looks like the next map's going to be Temple of Anubis.
Yeah, I like this map a lot for both sides.
But
just to make sure the viewers are aware, can't play that hero yet.
Not yet.
For PACG.
2 weeks. We got 2 weeks still on it, or I guess 1 week.
1 week more
from now.
Yeah,
because it was released last Tuesday. This Tuesday, it's been 1 week, so we got 1 more week on it. But it'll be really interesting because she'll be out for finals.
Yeah, and it should come through. if the nerf hammer doesn't come through quite then, she's going to be a very strong pick.
A very strong pick. I mean, you pair that with a Lucio or a Moira, and I mean, there's a large health pool coming out, and we've seen some pretty crazy compositions.
Yeah, I mean, thinking of some players that are really strong on Reinhardt, and that's key to some compositions. University of Utah sub is really, really good on the Reinhardt.
Right.
So that'll be really interesting if we do get to the finals and we have teams that like to play those front-heavy compositions, the dive comps with multiple tanks. That new hero is so strong against Reinhardt.
Right.
It's like a super hard counter, so it'll be interesting to see how that develops. But we're still a week away from before ever seeing it.
Yeah, we're still a week away, so it's possible that they just haven't been focusing on Blizzard World, and they want to focus on this new hero. So hopefully Temple of Anubis is going to feel a lot more comfortable here for USC. They're going to feel better about their defense. They're going to feel better about their offense. They're going to have their team compositions down. They're going to know what they want to run. And like you said, you like this map. This is a favorite map of a lot of people. It's also very despised for a lot of people because of this first initial chokehold.
Yeah. Once you have a nice high ground set up, you can combo something like Orisa with the Widowmaker, maybe even Hanzo to hold that first choke point on defense, and it's extremely difficult to get past. You either have to like run a Lucio and just sprint through it and hope not to get picked off on the way,
right,
or try and do some like slow moving push, and that's more methodical and sometimes takes a lot more teamwork than you'd actually expect.
And this is the slow methodical push that you're going to see. USC has done this before. They use this May Reaper composition. We've seen this in Overwatch League as well. This is a really, really strong composition here because May can just slow whatever target Reaper's going to shoot, and Reaper just has full blast on everything. However, Arizona State, they know what they're doing. They have a really solid defense here.
Yeah, solid defense, one way to say it. Another way to say it is Widowmaker. Look at these shots that have come through. 2 quick kills, a third on your screen there. Chumcha just showing his skill on this hero.
And I told you, Chumcha on the Widowmaker, it's going to come out. We're going to see it. And now we see it. USC, I don't know if they want to keep this slow push composition anymore.
Didn't really work on that.
They need to be able to contest that high ground Widow, but they don't really have anyone to do it except for D.Va, but D.Va needs to be around her Hog.
Yeah.
She needs to protect that Hog because, there's no real shields in this composition, so everyone has to stick together, which is why it's really a slow push. And Cronidor does a really good job of disrupting everybody.
This is pretty good. They made a pretty good push. D.Va putting the pressure on to Chumcha. He has to back off. Will he be able to stay alive? Yes, it's just a 1v1. Seems to be remaining healthy. Oh, but man, the aggression is still there.
That's 2 picks. Nemesis picked out 2 picks. He got both Mercy and Widowmaker there.
That is huge for them. The backline completely decimated for USC. Nice ultimate there. Comes through just to try and create a little bit more pressure. There is the call mech, and Nemesis carrying his team on this push. They were able to stave off the aggression there from ASU. Things looked a little scary for a moment there.
They looked very scary there for a moment, but like I said, I think USC is a little bit more comfortable on this map because that was a very convincing push. They chose it. They're sticking together, and they're using this May Reaper composition exactly how it needs to be used. Reaper and May are focusing the same targets, and so much damage can come out from Reaper here.
Yeah, and I like May for this particular area. You can close off one side flank. You can remain in the point with that spell right there. Reaper going to have a lot of AoE damage, though, but look at these scrappy fights. There's not really a rhyme or reason, but the DPS carries can choose their targets at will. Speaking of which, look at ADHD on this Tracer, getting a nice chase onto Lucio. He's not going to be able to get out of this. Oh, my goodness, that's going to be 10. Oh, and he finally falls. That's 3 quick kills in succession for ADHD, trying to chase them all the way back to their platform. Man, look at this Tracer on fire, Zayden.
Absolutely on fire. He singled out every single target that he needed to. He did not have a single moment where he switched targets. He locked on to what he wanted to kill, and he killed that target. He got Immortal. He got Nemesis. He got everyone he wanted to get. Perfect execution there from that ADHD.
Yeah, and that's the worry for USC. If they're trying to execute this composition, they cannot split up like that, right? They have to be grouped as a unit. As soon as you split those fights apart, then ASU's DPS, right? ADHD still, with his ultimate available on the Tracer, can pick off those members and chase you down.
Huge pull spawn there from ADHD, taking out both of the healers for USC, and that is going to ruin the push for USC. USC is going to have to back off and try that again. Wow.
Yeah, just a delayed team kill, essentially, as they all simply get wiped out in quick succession. ASU still holding ults, too. It was just a pulse bomb and AoE damage that came through from Arizona's defense there. Nice play. They're going to be able to defend at least this next push easily with the resources they have available. But there are still 3 very key ultimates for USC, too, Zader.
Extremely key. The Blizzard is something that will change a fight completely, but I think he's really scared to use this Blizzard because Spades, he'll eat it.
Yeah.
He'll eat the Blizzard and then it'll be completely useless. So they need to make sure that Spades is out of mech.
Yeah. First, they have to do that, and it's hard to catch him out of position because he's just playing so smart right now. He knows that that's their strategy and that they have to get him out of mech, so he's playing as
safe as possible.
Yeah, as safe as possible, out of line of sight while still trying to put the pressure, being able to interrupt some things. And here's the push. USC trying to make the play. Nice Blizzard on the back end, but
it was eaten by Spades. Spades sitting on the back, sitting on that Tracer. Spades ate that Blizzard. That's exactly what I said. Spades is so good with that.
Yeah, he was waiting for it. He was ready, and he set up that play. Nice call, mech. Is going to mean that USC can try and make this push. It's still pretty close. The fight's still going on. It hasn't been completed one way or the other, Zader. This push is pretty good. 3 minutes on the clock, so they still got plenty of time if this doesn't quite go their way, and it looks to be going in favor of ASU. Nice defense here. Look at this. Tracer damage. Nice positioning. That's going to be Dink Pie falling. That means there's no more damage, really, because Immortal can't really go in without his tanks already there. May's going to have to recall, show back up at that spawn. Now they're going to regroup, look for another push. USC has plenty of time, just under 3 minutes. The clock is ticking, but they still have time for probably 2 more really good, well thought out pushes. They just need resource bars to be full now, because right now it's just Nemesis going to be having to wait for now their 6th member. As soon as they get that reset, they should be able to look for a push here. But you can see resource numbers on the top left of your screen. ASU, they're looking real comfortable once again.
They got 3 ultimates, almost 5. Honestly, ADHD is going to get his ultimate here in just about 5 seconds. Spades nearing the Diva Bomb as well. Arizona State is going to have 5 ultimates on this push. USC, they're not going to have any.
Yeah.
They need to build ult charge, or they need to have a very convincing push.
This is a little late in the round to be swapping out for the pharmacy comp, especially if you're playing this aggressively. You could just get caught out. You're in the middle of a fight. This isn't exactly the safest place for you to be.
And here comes ADHD in the back lane, throwing a pulse bomb out, not able to find a stick on anybody.
Nice zone, though. It splits up that fight. We talked about how they have to split up USC so that they can pick them off on the sides, and that is what ADHD does best.
And Chris picking up both DPS players.
Yeah, I mean, once you split up the fights, you can do just that.
You know what? I'm seeing absolutely phenomenal play from Arizona State here. They lost that first point due to that composition. USC had a very good first push, but they answered that. Chumcha switched to that Reaper. They switched, now he's able to counter those large tanks coming out. Made them have to switch off the Roadhog. They had to switch, into that Winston and Diva composition to protect Winston from that Reaper. And now Arizona has answered it perfectly. Now USC had to make a change. Now is where they're going to start coming in. They have more ultimates. This is the push that they want to have. This is where they need to do something.
60 seconds remaining on this last push. You can hear it from the announcer too. Man, this has got to be a huge push. There is the Transcendence to keep their team healthy. ASU trying to keep this defense alive, but there's so many uses of the ults coming through for USC. Oh man, that's unfortunate. Self-destruct doesn't actually find them. Call Mech will come through to keep him healthy. Bring him back in, but man, the Reaper with the Death Blossom triple kill. Beautiful, and that's gonna be, I think that's gonna call it here. USC on the edge, but what can they really do?
They're stalling the Diva so hard right now. This is just really unfortunate. I think Nemesis knows. I think he knew.
Yeah, that's when you know there's not a possibility for a comeback here, when they're just stalling the Diva recall because they know that that's one of the ways that they can stop.
Right, and now USC obviously just does not have that that 6th player. This is all they've got. Kaden sitting on the point, pushing the game into overtime, but really not able to do much here. Immortal on that Tracer, trying to stall as much as possible. USC still does have kind of a chance here, but ASU is not really going to let that happen, and they answered USC perfectly.
Yeah. Immortal just trying to be a nuisance for a little bit, extend the game a little bit longer, but they didn't really have anything set for a push at the end there. That's pretty good, though. Nice defense there from ASU.
Absolutely amazing defense. Spades was on that May. He ate that Blizzard ultimate, which would have been a game changer if that Blizzard came out. But Spades knew. He hid in the back and he waited, and he knew that, you know, May is looking for an ultimate. He's looking for Spades. He couldn't find Spades, so he popped the ultimate, and Spades came right behind him.
Yeah, it was a beautiful play.
And so
completely predicted. That shows you the caliber of that player and the kind of the game sense, right? That how many games do you have to play before you're so used to knowing that strategy that you're prepared for it to the level where you'll predict it, you'll eat that ultimate, and that's a game-changing. That's a game-winning play to make.
Game-winning play. And as soon as that happened, that's when you saw USC make switches.
Yeah.
That's when you saw USC kind of, you know, go into that Pharah Tracer composition instead, right? And then, you know, ASU just has an answer to everything. ASU knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
And even though we saw USC with a very convincing first push, USC didn't give up. They kept pushing. They kept doing as much as possible. They had a really good second push there. You know, one of their pushes on that second point was really solid. They were doing good, but you know, it kind of all faltered out, and they didn't get rid of the necessary players that they needed to kill.
Yeah.
So, and then ASU came back, took the point back.
Yeah.
And so that's where USC kind of faltered, and then they started losing all of their ult charge, and then, you know, that was kind of the end of that. They didn't have too much time to build.
The ults were kind of staggered, and then the swapping to the Pharah means you have to reset that resource bar too, build it up. I don't even think they got a barrage out of the Pharah.
I think they did, but I think it was canceled pretty quickly. I saw the ultimate come out, but really it was pretty canceled out. Arizona State running pretty standard dive composition here. USC getting pretty static here. They want to defend that chokehold pretty well.
Gets around the side, does get spotted out. A little bit of damage taken. He's going to pick up the health back to stay really healthy, but oh my goodness, he's here almost gets the kill. Going to chase him down. That's a lot of damage.
Salagos does not want to die here. Very good.
So close.
Very safe play there from Salagos. They need to take care of ADHD, though. They know he's in the backline somewhere. Immortal finds him.
Staying alive, somehow staying near full health is the Tracer. They're going to be able to get...
Taking out so many people here.
Yeah,
Spades is just soloing everyone right now.
Somehow, he's just popping off on this. You saw his play, the game-winning eat of the May ultimate last time, and now he's sitting here almost with his ultimate available. This is some great D.Va play.
I mean, ADHD is in the back line of USC already, and they just captured that first point. All they need is 33% here. They only need that first tick. And ADHD is doing a really good job splitting USC up and making them scared, making them look for him, and making them split up. And once you split up, a dive composition is really, really key. Once there's one player out, the full dive comes in, and that's exactly what you're seeing from Arizona State right now.
Nice parry there from the Genji. Man, this is some really good play from the DPS. These scrappy fights that make USC get split up are the win condition for ASU. They do it so well, and you can see now they're on a full push. They haven't lost a single member, and they were able to take out almost the entire squad. Mercy just has to run for her life. Very convincing final push there. Man, I want to say ADHD here on the Tracer brings chaos to these rounds. Play of the game nonetheless, right? ADHD, look at this. The flank is beautiful. Gets a nice sticky bomb. That's going to get a double kill to start things off. And then being able to then pick off the tanks. They don't have that healing available to them when you take out their backline so quickly. Nice play there from the Tracer. I love seeing that kind of heads up, really aggro
Tracer play.
Tracer play. I'm just trying to come up with some other adjective to describe how cool it is to see that flank that you can do. It's the mind games from a player like that.
It's mind games, it's blink control, it's recall control. You know, he's very comfortable with his Tracer.
Disciplined is the word I was looking for. Because he holds that recall so often. He doesn't press it when you think he might be caught in these awkward situations. He's
got a blink ready.
Left and right. He's got a blink ready to dodge out necessary spells. And then when he finally gets to that last tick of health, then he uses the recall. And somehow he always has it in his mind that where he's recalling to is safe. That's the other thing, too. He's playing that 4D chess, man. It's really a pleasure to see. So keep an eye on ADHD in the next round.
He's always playing 5 seconds ahead.
Watch him. It really is.
He really is.
He sees the future and the past.
Great play there from ADHD. I think that I think the ASU is going to take this, honestly.
ASU's looking on their game.
I think they're very confident in what they're doing right now, and I think they're going to be able to take this. I want to see USC maybe take one map.
I think they need to reconsider their strategy because they're playing pretty standard Overwatch at this point.
Right.
And what they're trying is just not working. It's so standard, I want to say so vanilla, that ASU is way too comfortable playing against it. They're like, this again? You know, like that seems to be what ASU's feeling like, and they're super confident. So I want to see some cheese, really, from USC, because you have to throw something in there, throw a wrench into the gears that are just working like clockwork here for ASU.
They really are. And, you know, cheese works. You know, I mean, obviously cheese is cheese, right? And, you know, it's kind of lame, and if you have to use it, you have to use it. But they need to use it, right?
Everything's cheese until it becomes meta.
I mean, yeah. I mean, dive composition was cheese until everyone was like, well, I guess they'll just run dive composition. And then now that's all you see.
Yeah.
Now all you see is Winston and D.Va because it's such a strong power couple there. You see Tracer and Genji as a very strong power couple. You see Lucio and Zenyatta as a very strong power couple. You know, you get these pairings that are just perfect.
Yeah. And
I think Bricky is actually going to change this whole meta.
Oh, absolutely. If you guys have been playing on ladder at all, that support pick is gnarly. It feels like if you're a DPS, if you're a tank, you can't 1v1 her at all.
Oh no, sure.
And if she's with her team, she just amps everybody up with that AoE healing. That's nasty.
Yeah, the AoE healing,
AoE hits,
the natural
AoE
armor coming out.
Nerf that.
The AoE, like everything. I mean, and then she has a Roadhog hook that instead of hooking people, just pushes them from a mile away. I mean, Roadhog hook is long, and then her flail is just as long, but instead of pulling it towards you and maybe, you know, hitting the wrong target, instead it just pushes them away. You have more boop potential. You have more zoning potential,
Boop potential. I like it.
Boop. Yeah, and so it's crazy. And I think the dive meta here is going to go away because Brigitte, it cancels that meta so hard.
Yeah.
So, again, it's standard, but we're not going to see it anymore. But next map, looking like Lijiang Tower.
Ooh.
We saw this here earlier today as well.
Yeah, and it was super close between Arizona and Utah. Both teams super close. It was the 2-0 on this map for Utah, but both parts of it, both rounds of Lijiang Tower were 90% or so for both teams. Super close for this King of the Hill. So I'm excited to see how close these ones will be. Once again, you're watching a real match, right? This isn't a show match. This counts for standings and has playoff implications. But ASU coming out strong here versus USC. University of Southern California is going to have to, I said, maybe bring some cheese or rethink their strategy in some way, shape, or form, because right now ASU has their number.
I think ASU definitely has their number right now. So I don't know. I don't know if USC has something under their belt. I don't know if they're waiting on something. I don't know if I don't know if they want to do a reverse sweep. Maybe
reverse sweep?
You know, it's possible that maybe they're waiting for that. But I want to see them. I want to see them really try it now. I want to see more, and I don't think I've seen enough from USC quite yet.
Yeah. Well, this is the map to do it. You can get a lot more of those 1v1s in the flanks because everybody's going to be playing around the point. Everybody has to be playing around the point in King of the Hill. So I like that this different game, because you're not playing around the different objectives, it's not attack versus defense. Everybody's looking for the same objective, and this should be pretty good here. Talk to me about these compositions, though, as the first fight breaks out.
We're seeing D.Va and Roadhog from USC. Kind of an interesting composition there. You gotta protect that Roadhog. You don't have a shield, but Arizona State has a really big shield here. Chronodota on that Reinhardt. Reinhardt Zarya combo is really good. ADHD taking out Immortal. That's really bad for USC. USC doesn't have a lot of power here now.
Yeah, ASU going for that really tanky composition, really just hoping that their front line can carry everything out. Triple tank is doing work for them at this point.
Yeah, triple tank is something that we see a lot on Lijiang Tower, and on control points in general, because it's so strong. You have such a big health pool, you need a lot of damage to be able to counter it, and really the only way to counter it is another triple tank. So if we see USC come out with a triple tank, you know, that's what I want to see for the counter.
Yeah, here's the Riptire. Will it find? Yes, it does! A quick triple kill there. Chamsha from ASU coming out huge with his Riptire there, and that is a almost an entire, was it?
I
Mercy
think,
was still there.
Oh,
she falls
there
to
it
the end.
is. Mercy had to
Got knocked
politely
off the map,
jump off the edge.
Yes, reset with the squad. That's essentially a team kill set up there by Chumcha with the Riptire. Really beautiful play there. But now you can see ADHD is ready to set up his own play.
ASU's got ultimates.
Yes, they
and
do.
they're gonna set
Stackable.
up.
Very stackable ultimates. You can see nice charge here on the Zarya. Able to frontline. There is the Earth Shatter. Will they combo it?
Ouch. Spades getting 3 picks off of that Earth Shatter alone on his own. Spades capitalized so hard on that, and that's it.
Wow.
Chronodota, by Chronodota?
Wow.
Accidental death?
And the wave goodbye BM from ADHD. That was funny. The almost completely full charge here on the Zarya. Heading up that front line, still holding the ult. Just had it for like half the match. Will we see it come
Didn't
through?
need to use it. I mean, that shatter was so big.
Yeah.
And, you know, they still have 3 ultimates here from Arizona State. And USC has now 4. So this is where they want to push. But they can't push. Nemesis got out of mech, and they used the Graviton Surge.
Doesn't actually net them anything quite yet. Actually, this fight looking to go back and forth for a moment here. ADHD rather far forward to try and get him. Chumcha's going to fall on the front end of this fight. He's the first to fall. Now they're getting a little bit more of a push here.
I don't know. USC, they're really trying to find something here. They want to keep this overtime push. They need to stay on the point, though. They're keeping one person on the point. This is exactly what you see for USC. They're contesting. They're taking out Arizona State. Arizona State has really... Oh, never mind. Arizona took that back pretty quickly as I was explaining that.
Ooh, someone's still on the point, though.
No, Solid Ghost got a really good pick there onto Spades.
Yeah, his own Riptire does work. Try and give them a little bit more breathing room to keep the overtime going. Contesting point is still there. They've been actually holding this for quite a while. Oh, Chumcha with a nice laser.
Oh, there it is. Chumcha cleaning up house.
Trapped. Doesn't really
I don't know.
mean
This
much.
contest is lasting so long.
Oh, and there you go. Wow, that contest actually lasted for a very long time. USC, nice push there, but they will get taken out 100% to 0, even though the contest lasted a while. That was a convincing take at the front end, and then USC was putting up a pretty good fight at the end there, but it will be the victory.
They put up a really good fight.
Yeah, they did.
And they held that overtime for a very long time. It's very difficult to hold overtime once you start staggering and trickling, and you know you have to switch players so you can get the point faster. You know, we saw the Tracer come out, we saw Diva come out, we saw probably I think a Winston came out. So that, you know, you need people to just like get back to the point.
Yep.
And so very very convincing overtime hold there with USC, but they weren't able to capitalize it. And now they're running the triple tank, quad tank coming up from USC to answer Arizona's triple tank, but Arizona's not running triple tank anymore.
No, they're running double support with ADHD now moving under the Tracer. I like this. You've seen ADHD pop off this evening already, just in the last rounds. And man, this Tracer has so many opportunities for the flank. Speaking of which, tries to get a little bit there. Nice blink away from the hook. You can see on the side here, uncontested. The Tracer's in the middle, starting these fights to become super scrappy.
But she's not able to get any picks. There's a really big health pool here.
Yeah, there is.
And she's not able to get very many picks. Immortal getting taken out, but King of Mars taking out ADHD. There's still really big health pool for USC. USC has the upper hand here at this point. DJ Dobro getting so close on that Mercy and getting taken out there. USC answered Arizona State perfectly with this quad tank composition.
Yeah, it's working out in spades for them. Aha. But ADHD, the first pick off, you can see that's a risky run of trying to play on the side there as Tracer, but when they're so tanky, you can't actually get any picks, and then they finally get a pick onto that Mercy. When Mercy falls, you can collapse onto the rest, and they're getting a really good hold here. They're the first to cap that point. They're the first to start ticking that percentage, and they've got a really solid grip, a nice hold here on the point. Will ADHD find anything on the side here? I think they're too tanky for him to be able to deal with this.
I think they're too tanky for him to be able to really deal a lot of damage. If he's able to land a pulse bomb there into the middle, that'll be really important because a lot of USC's health pool will go down. King of Mars, Kaden, and Dingpire down. Solid Ghost getting taken out as well. Chronodota cleaning up house, Chumcha cleaning up as well.
Oh.
USA's dead!
Team kill in just a few short seconds there. That is really good there for Arizona.
Arizona.
Yeah.
They answered pretty quickly to that quad tank, but here's the thing. Quad tank has really good pushing ability. They're going to be able to get back onto the point.
Yeah, they will. That was an interesting use of the ultimate
And
there.
now
I'm not sure what Space
ASU
is
has
looking
one
for.
less ultimate. But USC has 2 ultimates here. 3 ultimates. King Caden just threw down that hammer, and that's going to be really convincing for them to be able to hold this push. Chump to getting taken out. Spades is now out of mech. And I think Arizona State's going to have to back up on this one. Let the point go.
Yeah, missing a good portion of their damage. They do have Farah gone,
What?
right?
No, they came back!
What the heck? How did that happen? The nice use of comboing the ultimates. Somehow, a massive team kill when it looked like they were on their back foot.
Chumcha had ultimate again. That is the second Pharaoh ultimate that we have seen from Chumcha. That's unbelievable. He's getting his ult charge so quickly.
That was so beautiful there. Nice combo. That's the communication. It almost makes you wonder what it would sound like to hear them in comms. If we were on Overwatch League, you'd be able to listen to them make those calls. The shot calling so clean there. They combo the ultimates, get the team kill. It's the second time this round, making the push, but this is actually rather close. It is 2/3 there for Arizona State. They're making another push here. USC trying to take the point back. You can see Immortal's actually really strong right now.
And another ultimate from Chumcha. It's ready again. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, you're just charging when you get those direct hits. So much more charge from the damage, and that's going to be not quite a team kill, but just about a team wipe. Now they're 88%. Will USC be able to actually get in? It remains to be seen, but I don't think they could even get there in time.
I don't know if they're going to be able to get time.
Remaining.
They're too slow. Immortal doesn't have time. Immortal needs to blink onto the point right now. Oh, he did it. He got it.
Barely in at the edge there, but now it's ticking down once again. Get back in there. It is the Diva who's going to rocket forward. That's just in there, but look, there comes the barrage. To hold that choke point, that's just going to be it. Arizona State with 3 team kills and a 4th quasi-team kill.
That was unbelievable.
Holy
from Arizona State. USC came at him with the quad tank. They weren't expecting it, but Arizona came back and they blew that quad tank out of the water. Here's the important res here on Chumcha. That is where this fight turned around. And you see Chumcha gets back up and the rocket barrage comes out, takes out 2 people there from USC. And that's where USC lost that fight. That's where they lost the point again. Unbelievable. Arizona State, godly gameplay there.
Yeah. I mean, it's the team play, it's the communication. You can tell it's there because you res Farah, you set up the ultimate, the barrage comes through, and you knew that you wanted that, right? You res for the ultimate to be available. You have Winston set up the defense for that stationary position. You delete the point and retake it. That was beautiful.
And the perfection in that setup too, and the timing. They did it very quickly, and they knew exactly what they're going to do. You know, as soon as that res came through with Chumcha, they knew, all right, he's back. We're going to get on point. We're going to get right in front of him. We're going to defend him, and we're going to let him blow the whole barrage through before he even thought about getting killed. And that's exactly what happened. He got the whole barrage in on Immortal and Dingpai there, and they just got deleted. I mean, there's 2 big targets.
Yeah. Really convincing showing from ASU makes you very confident if you're a fan of ASU looking towards those playoffs. I gotta say, they have an answer. They have their number, right? ASU
they have an answer for everything.
Yeah, they seem to be very comfortable adapting their playstyle and composition to match whatever USC throws at them.
That is an unbelievable team right there. I will tell you right now, Arizona is composed. They know what they're doing. They have strategies. They have plans. And they have a counter to, I mean, anything. I mean, even the Reaper May composition, you don't see that very much, but they had an answer to that.
To be fair, Immortal has been playing pretty dang well, though, trying to carry his team. He's the one really to watch in the next round here, the next game. Again, it's going to be Dorado as the next match.
Right.
I think you have to watch this guy closely because he's been this close to making those flanks work for his team.
Right.
But then when they go back to those dive compositions, I feel like that locks him down. I want to see them maybe go back to something that frees him up to get those flanks off again.
Right. They need to take more advantage of Immortal, and I really agree with you on that one. I think that Immortal is a very strong player for USC. I think another really strong player there is Solid Ghost on that tank. He's a very, very good player, and I think they need to keep those 2 players together. and they need to make sure that they're playing what they need to be playing. But, you know, again, they're all really flex players here. They don't really have any dedicated roles.
Yeah, that is a problem, right? As much as it feels good to play anything and everything and be a jack of all trades, what is the saying? Jack of all trades, master of none. You need to be able to be a grand master of something to be able to dominate in competitive play for Overwatch. So we see that out of some players here in PACG, but we need to see more of that, or at least channel your inner grandmaster if you're here on USC, because they're on their back foot. 100% back foot here. Coming into Dorado, the escort map is their choice.
Right.
That means they have to have a plan for it, right?
They need to have a plan. You know, they're going into this map knowing that they've already lost this match. Arizona has taken this match, so they will be 2-0 here as far as the standings go. Arizona has won this game, but we always play the fourth game. We'll always play this fourth map. So USC can at least get map score here.
Yeah.
They can at least get a win and help their standings because, you know,
game score. It
game
matters.
Score matters.
Based on tiebreakers, and as well as if you can take that off of ASU, maybe you ding their confidence going into playoffs. Coming into even next week, they could be not as confident. Maybe they second guess themselves, and that could be the one hiccup necessary for any other team to take matches away from Arizona State. But here we go.
USC running a Torbjorn composition, and not anymore. He needs some healing.
Back up a little bit.
But
rethink your strategy.
They're
going to be setting up. All right.
Maybe. There
we go.
Yeah, you hammer that turret there, buddy.
This is some high-level gameplay. Wow, almost taken down.
ADHD.
There it is, the Tracer. How you doing, buddy? Not so good, I see, because you can't even respond if you're respawning. Gray screen simulator. All right, looking to have a nice push here. Nemesis, some nice frontlining here for USC, but they actually have to gain ground. You can't just stand there and soak damage.
Right, they're not pushing the payload.
Yeah, because if you're in this choke point, ADHD is going to do exactly what he's doing, which is be a nuisance to your back line.
And Chronodota taking picks too. I mean,
oh my God.
USC's just falling, and they're not pushing the payload. I don't know what their plan is here. I wouldn't want to say that they've given up, but I mean,
would you say that's 5 meters or less that the payload has moved thus far?
Not even. I mean, maybe 10. Maybe. But now they're pushing it.
Okay.
Now they're setting up on the payload.
Trying to get set up, but you can't set up a Torbjorn if you have no control of that area. I think you just have to rethink your entire strategy here. Maybe just go with your quad tank and try
Chumcha, wow,
dive him.
That's 4 kill. That's a 4K for Chumcha there.
All right.
That's I think USC is stuck.
Yeah, you said
ASU's all over
ADHD
the
can
place.
see into the future, but man, Chumcha there got them in his sights, takes them down. That's probably going to be play of the game if nothing changes. This is quiet right now. This is
very
dead
quiet.
silence. Now, dead, I don't mean that as a pun because USC seems to always be dead, but it also seems to be
you know,
Solid
goes coming out with the Genji ultimate, trying to find someone, but he got anti-grenaded and Discord orbed, and that was it. He had to run away. And everyone's dying again.
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 That's the name of the game at this point. Pharah now, or excuse me, Mersa just taken down. There's a team kill.
There's another team kill.
That is now counted the 4th confirmed team kill that you've seen the pop up on your screen for in the last 2 rounds.
And they're only running one. There's 2 tanks now. They were running 1 tank.
And they keep seeing. It seems that they team kill while still having all their ults available. That's what surprises me the most.
Right. I mean, they're not using ultimates here. They don't really need to. I mean, Chumcha used it once.
Okay.
Spade's coming in and nerfing that.
Yeah. Nerf this. Well, he says, I'll try and just tank it. Doesn't really work like that. Though.
Right. I don't know. USC's... they're not doing much here. They're not pushing the payload.
Okay, so what can USC do? It looks like they're swapping to the tank line, but will it be enough? Immortal has his ultimate available, but this is going to have to do work for them if they're actually going to be making an attempt here to move that payload.
Yeah, and they need to be contesting that high ground more and not splitting up as much. But, I mean, they're playing such a split-up composition right now. Solid Ghost has to go into his own position. Immortal has to go sit there in the back lane. He's a very good Doomfist, but he's not able to really find anything because they're just so split up and the rest of his team dies before he can really get any picks. And here we see, again, here goes all of USC dying again. You know, nobody's really able to do their job.
Ooh, that was hurt.
ASU's just all over him.
Yeah, I mean, nothing more really could be said about that. ASU seems to have been dialing in step by step this evening, starting out by convincing win, but...
I mean, there's 2 support picks there for USC. Now they know they need to capitalize on this.
Yeah, they have to. This is the
USC's
last
backing
opportunity.
up.
15 seconds remain, and there's so much work to be done. They are still on the payload.
But Arizona State backed up after those 2 support picks.
Maybe they're just looking to extend the match just for fun, sandbagging it out.
I mean, I'd like to assume that as well, but, you know, USC needs to make sure they take advantage of this, and they need to not let the point get taken out.
A nice whole hog comes through, but it's going to basically get stopped by the Diva that comes through. Oh, 5-player streak there. Chumcha trying to contribute damage, but he gets picked up. Immortal trying to carry his team. He swapped over to the Genji here. And man, ADHD doing what he does best, trying to play around the flanks. And that's going to be 3 out of 6 gone. Kaden falls 2. That's 4 out of 6. USC is off the point, and that's going to be game here for Arizona State. Round 1 complete. We're going to switch sides.
May I point out that ADHD stood in the middle of that whole team, that whole fight, and didn't die?
Well, when talking about ADHD, you have to have an interesting definition of stand, because he's always moving like a god. His strafing is beautiful. Even without blinking, he seems to dodge left, right, left, 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 right. Like, you just can't predict this guy.
He's like
he's
boxing
perfect.
moves here.
Something like that.
He's quick on his feet.
Yeah, I mean, he flies like a butterfly, stings like a bee, this guy, Tracer. And when he has to, the flanks seem just immaculate from this player. I mean, I just keep highlighting this guy. ADHD on the Tracer.
Phenomenal. Chumcha,
MVP.
you know, we're not going to forget about Chumcha. He got an amazing soldier there. He was getting picks left and right, great ultimates, everything. But, I mean, I think ADHD really isn't, he's not looked at enough because, I mean, he's getting picks. He's getting kills. He's not dying. He's pushing. He's doing his job. He's providing pressure. He's in the back line. He's flanking. I mean, the guy's doing everything.
Yeah. He really is doing everything. It feels, when I watch this player on Tracer, it feels as though ASU has 2 teams, right? They have their huge composition that's all clumped together, setting Chumcha up to be like this huge DPS carry in this AoE that they can just like move as a unit. And then all of a sudden, as soon as you forget that they have this Tracer that's just sipping around, wreaking havoc elsewhere, it's like, why are we playing 1v2, right? Like, this is so feels bad, man, to play against ASU when they have a composition that works like this, and when ADHD has the freedom to play around and take whatever fights he wants. It's complete freedom for him.
It is really freedom for him, and they're not contesting that Tracer either. You know, I'm you know, when that Tracer gets in the back lane, I mean, you got to look at her, you got to focus her, you got to make sure you look at her head, you know, click it a few times, maybe.
But
They're not, and yeah, if you can, but he's so well versed with that movement. He's so well versed with that Tracer gameplay that, you know, they're not able to kill him, and it's fantastic.
ADHD, the magician there. Now you see him, now you don't. He's able to get those flanks, and he is playing Tracer once again for this round. You can see he's looking for the flank. No contest at all. He's got a kind of flank, but you can see he knows when he's in a bad spot.
ADHD!
3
HP! He's not dead!
Goodness!
He's not dead!
It's out. How does he do it? The magician indeed. That is a magic trick to survive that, but nice aim here from Chumcha. He's showing off some of his own skill here on the Hanzo, trying to get his line of sight set up. He's going to look for the high ground instead, look for his own position. And you can see USC trying to have this group push. Not really going to be working for them at all.
That Arizona State goes 4-0. That's all I've got to say. ASU goes 4-0 against USC. And here we see the Chumcha play the game clearly because, I mean, absolutely phenomenal ult here coming out from him. He's got one. Look at him. He waits for the reflect to go out too. 3, 4.
Oh my goodness. That was dirty.
Dirty.
Ooh.
I don't know. That was phenomenal, ASU.
They put on a clinic, really.
They put on a clinic. They were amazing. They utilized ADHD to his full potential, and I'm not even kidding you when I say full potential. They kept him alive. He kept himself alive.
ASU masterclass in Overwatch competitive play there. It was a beauty. it seemed like they got better and better with each round of each map even, culminating in that beautiful Dorado toying with their food almost at that point. It was really cool. Let's get a recap with the maps that we just saw them play on. Man, Blizzard World, convincing victories came out there. Temple of Anubis was a little bit more scrappy.
We saw USC come out there, and that's when I started having a little bit more faith. I knew that USC could do something, and then Arizona State answered back.
Yeah, they said, hold on, let's dial in for a moment here. We've got your number. We're going to call that, and you don't have an answer like we do. So, Lijiang, convincing victories. And then coming into Dorado, you saw demoralized USC.
I think their dial was at 10, and this one went to 11.
Yeah, really,
and
really
ASU turned it up to 11 this match and just rolled through USC.
Super exciting to see them, and let's see how that affects the standings. As we said, this has playoff implications, did we not? Utah still up at the top there, 3-0, and again, this is PACG wide. Colorado 2-1, ASU now 2-0. They're in contention to maybe take that second place, but that doesn't really change how their playoffs look at the front end there. This gets them that semifinal bye.
Right. This is ASU's semifinal bye. Their match next week. I mean, I think they're playing Arizona next week. That's most likely going to be a win for them. This is their semifinal bye. They are top of the seed here at this point, I believe. USC hopefully going to go to quarterfinals. That'll be really exciting. USC is a really strong team, but I mean ASU is just, I mean, with the amount of ability that all of ASU has in their players and just the roster, ASU is, I think, honestly one of the best teams that we have here, maybe as far as collegiate esports goes in general.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to what would likely be an ASU versus Utah final. And I don't know. I mean, Utah's looked really clean, undefeated. Same is true there for ASU. And today, you saw, like, surgical precision in their execution of different styles of play even. They had an answer to every different composition that USC tried to throw their way. Answered it perfectly, and like I said, to surgical precision. It was beautiful to watch.
It was beautiful. ASU had everything in line. It's almost like they had a game plan for exactly how tonight was going to go, and they followed it perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking forward to those playoffs and maybe that possible ASU, the likelihood of ASU v Utah in a final, what that looks like, probably you're wondering, based on the show match you saw earlier tonight, based on what you just saw now, ASU cleaner and cleaner as the matches go on.
Right.
Utah kind of gets a little cocky, maybe sloppier, playing a little dirty, getting ahead of themselves. If that happens in playoffs, oof.
I mean, yeah, if that happens in the finals even, I mean, Utah needs to step it up. I support Utah fully, but I think they need to step it up at this point.
There's an argument to be made. It's a show match. You could just have a little fun with it, but show us. It's a show match. Show us what you can do. So, coming into the next week, it's going to be Week 8, Rivalry Week for all the different titles of PACG. Just a reminder, PACG isn't just Overwatch. I know you guys love this title, but you can check out League of Legends Mondays and Wednesdays, Tuesdays Overwatch, of course, Thursdays Hearthstone, Fridays Rocket League. And we've got more, of course, tomorrow. It's going to be League of Legends. Day after that, Thursday, is that Hearthstone, as I mentioned, Rocket League Friday, and a whole week of rivalry on these different titles coming in for Week 8 of PACG regular season play.
Rivalry Week is going to be really exciting, honestly, in my mind, because these matches, all these schools are going against each other, and they all honestly have grudges. UCLA and USC. You've got Arizona State and Arizona. I mean, I guess we know who's going to win that one. But so I think it's going to be really fun here to see just like how these teams just go at each other. And rivalries are always fun, right?
Yeah, statements to be made, right?
Stamps
to be had on those history books. It should be really exciting. So join us tomorrow for some League of Legends broadcasts here on PACG Network. We're really grateful to have you join us here. It's been a great night of Overwatch. Again, my name's Jake at Superman Casting Maury. You can check me out on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook at supermancasting.com.
Yeah, and I am Xander or Zader, and you can also check me out on Twitch at Zader. I stream there a lot if you miss me. And then on Twitter as Official Zader or Zader basically everywhere else. But again, man, we really do appreciate you guys watching and tuning in today. And it's been a phenomenal day here today.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Follow us at Pacific ACG on those different social media channels, and we'd love to see you tomorrow for some League of Legends action. Have a good night and game on.
I'll take a chance and let you in. Just take my hand and take me